In this video, you will understand why the traditional role of the programmer is undergoing a radical metamorphosis into that of a strategic systems architect. You will discover the critical bifurcation point that separates mere syntax writers from the new cognitive elite who will govern the algorithmic orchestra. You will identify the precise boundaries of artificial intelligence in software engineering, revealing exactly where the machine ends and your supremacy as a human agent begins. To give you an idea of the speed of this change, consider the bold statement from Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, who claimed that we could be living in a world where AI writes essentially all code in just 12 months. This is not a speculative future. This is the industrial footprint of a new era of production being built right before your eyes. You are at the crossroads of the greatest disruption in the history of human labor. While the masses debate the obsolescence of work, the Vanguard is repositioning itself at the choke point of architectural command. If you stay attached to the accidental complexity of manual coding, you will be a victim of this acceleration. Hello, I am Fernando Diaz. Welcome to 2029, the Great Disruption. Today we map the architecture of your victory. In Fragment 1, The Erosion of Syntax, you will learn why the era of the syntax writer is dead and how to navigate the Great Bifurcation. In Fragment 2, The Anonymous Builder, you will see the democratization of software that is changing everything. And in Fragment 3, The Sovereign Architect, you will understand the essence of development that no machine can touch yet. Let's get started. Fragment 1. The Erosion of the Syntactic Monopoly, the Obsolescence of Fingers. Listen to the silence in the modern open-plan office. It is no longer the rhythmic clicking of mechanical keyboards, the frantic staccato of a developer struggling with a bracket. It is the sound of a vacuum. We are currently witnessing a phenomenon that executives like Dario Amodei, the executive director of Anthropic, signaled at the turn of the decade. A world where AI writes essentially all code. But looking back from the threshold of 2029, I can tell you that the real story was not the code itself. It was the erosion of the value of the syntax writer. For decades, we treated the ability to write syntactically correct code as a priestly secret. You learned the arcane rules of C++, the shifting grammar of JavaScript, and were rewarded with a high salary and social status. This monopoly died. It died because we solved the accidents. According to Fred Brooks, the legendary computer scientist and author of the mythical Man Month, the difficulty of software is divided into accidental, the work of representing a solution in code, and essential, the hard conceptual work of specification and design. The accidents have been automated. I remember my high school days. There was an employee there, an evangelical man of immense discipline who spent his entire life hand-copying manuscripts. He believed that the work of the pen was a form of worship. When the digital era arrived, he did not just lose a job, he lost his identity. I see that same look in the eyes of mid-level engineers today. They spent 20 years mastering the pen of code, only to find that the machine has turned everyone into a writer. Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, was not exaggerating when he stated that the programming language is now human. But here is the friction. A study published by Zhiqiang Wang and a team of researchers specialized in human-computer interaction revealed a surprising disconnect. While large language models like ChatGPT drastically improved performance on independent coding puzzles, they provided zero objective efficiency gain for typical development tasks, such as bug fixes in a real and complex code base. The machine is a sprinter in a vacuum, but a clumsy child in a crowded room. And you? You are probably still being paid to be a sprinter. Imagine you are sitting in front of your workstation on a Tuesday morning. You open the Google Gemini interface, its elegant and minimalist design pulsing with the promise of, "Help me code." You provide a command, and 1,000 lines of code appear in seconds. It looks like magic. It looks like productivity. But, according to the NASA workload index used in Wang and his colleagues' research, this is often a trap of positive perception. Developers felt more productive even when objective quality and time metrics did not change at all. We are addicted to the vibe. This is the Great Bifurcation. On one side, the syntax writers who passively accept AI output, treating it as an infallible black box. On the other, the Vanguard architects who treat AI as a junior partner, flawed, insecure, and prone to stochastic parroting. As Jay Pallett from Carnegie Mellon's Software Engineering Institute points out, these models are trained on the internet, which is full of insecure and buggy tutorials. If you trust the code without the verification key, you are not a developer. You are a risk. Regarding this erosion of manual skill, I will still tell you later how this explodes in Fragment 3, where we will discuss the command protocols that turn this obsolescence into your greatest lever of power. But first, we need to look at an apparently unrelated fragment, the democratization of the builder.
How long can you hide behind your degree when a 15-year-old with a command can build your entire backend while you are still choosing a color for your editor?
Fragment 2, the anonymous builder, the democratization of will. Look at the screen of a modern smartphone. Specifically, look at an application powered by Anthropic's Model Context Protocol. It is not just an app, it is a portal. We are seeing the rise of the citizen developer, a term research firm Gartner defines as an employee who creates application capabilities using tools that are not actively forbidden by their company. In the mid-20s cycle, these tools moved from no-code toys to all-code power plants. The barrier to entry was not just lowered, it was demolished.
In my years of life, I have seen 3 great democratizations of this type. The first was the internet, which made information free. The second was social media, which made voice free. This third one, the AI singularity, makes execution free. When Andrew Ng, a pioneer in AI education, says that as coding becomes easier, more people should code, not less, he is describing a world where the professional monopoly on doing has ended. The vibe coding movement is the symptom.
My brother lives in Ireland. He is a tech guy. Recently, he told me how his neighbor used a coding agent called Aider, one of the tools of the new class that operates directly on local code bases, to build a custom inventory system for his carpentry workshop. He did not know Python. He did not care about memory management. He had a will, and the machine provided the syntax. He was practicing vibe coding. He was acting as the architect of his own reality. As always, there is a hidden cost.
Jiqiang Wang's research found that the most successful participants were not those who let AI do everything. They were those who engaged in a dialogue, treating AI as a colleague rather than a savior. They corrected the AI's flaws. This is what Jay Pallett calls calibrated trust. You trust the engine, but you keep your hand on the wheel. If you do not have that calibrated trust, you will only be generating digital landfill. Imagine a Thursday in 2029. The market is flooded with applications. Every small business, every enthusiast has a custom-made software suite. It sounds like a dream of efficiency. However, most of this code is dark. It has no maintenance, is insecure, and was built on a logic that the builder actually doesn't understand. We are creating a world of vibe-built infrastructure that is as fragile as a house of cards in a hurricane. This is where your opportunity as a Vanguard mentor lies. While citizen developers are building the facades, you must be the one who understands the foundation. You are not competing with the carpenter for the hammer. You are the one who understands the physics of the house. This shift from writer to editor is the core of the great metamorphosis. Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, noted in early 2025 that 20% to 30% of their repositories were already written by software. A deliberate ambiguity that masks the massive human testing required to make this code ready for production. The machine provides the volume. You provide the calibrated trust. To better understand how this will becomes your supreme asset, first you will need more context on Fragment 3, which we will talk about soon. Because the most valuable part of the system is not the code, it is the why. Do you think you can maintain your value in a world of eternal and free code? Or will you be the one who realizes that when the price of the how goes to zero, the value of the why goes to infinity? Fragment 3, the sovereign architect. The triumph of essence. We have arrived at the final fragment, the piece that completes the mosaic. If Fragment 1 was the death of the writer and Fragment 2 was the birth of the builder, Fragment 3 is the coronation of the architect. The singularity of 2029 is not about the end of programming. It is about the liberation of essence. Recall the no silver bullet thesis.
Fred Brooks argued that essence is the hard conceptual work of specification, design, and testing. The machine solved the accidents, syntax, but it remains a stochastic parrot when it comes to essence. This is the technical manumission I promised you. You are no longer enslaved to the bracket. You are the regent of logic. This is the command protocol of the 2030s. At the turn of the decade, we saw the birth of the Google Agent Development Kit and the Anthropic Model Context Protocol. These are not just tools, they are the seeds of a standardized infrastructure for agency. They allow different AI agents to communicate, share context, and execute complex missions through opaque applications. This is the symphony of symbiosis. You are the conductor. I think of the film Gattaca. It is a masterpiece about the human spirit versus biological hardware. In that world, everyone was defined by their genetics, their syntax. But the protagonist won because he did not save any strength for the swim back. He had a will that genetic algorithms could not calculate. Today, the purpose of the internet is engagement, and the purpose of AI is statistical probability. If you do not provide a different purpose, based on human resilience, the machine will simply optimize you into a statistical average. The future belongs to the sovereign architect. This is the person who uses a multi-agent structure like Microsoft AutoGen to simulate a virtual software company, where specialized AI agents collaborate to build a system. The architect does not write the code for the database. They define the relationship between the data and the user's needs. They do not debug the interface. They ensure it respects the cognitive lens of human attention. They claim the high conceptual ground. Tech strategists often make a very correct assessment. AI will not replace you. A person using AI will. But I would go further. A person using AI as a writer will be replaced by a person using AI as an architect. I saw the loneliness of code. In my role as a psychologist, I worked with patients who were brilliant mathematicians but could not hold a conversation. They were human calculators. AI has now outperformed the human calculator. It has broken the lacunae ceiling. But it cannot replace the spirit of the builder who swims back when they are tired, because they have a reason to reach the shore. Based on the research from the 80,000 Hours organization and the visions of leaders like Andrew Ng, I have a simple suggestion for you and me. Abandon the trench of syntax. Adopt the command protocol immediately. Master the toolkit. Operate at the agent layer using frameworks like the Vercel AI SDK or GenKit. Practice calibrated trust. Treat every line of AI code as a liability until you, the human in the loop, have verified its essence. Define the why. Focus on architectural collaboration that no non-human partner can simulate yet. The great metamorphosis is your technical manumission. While the masses lament the end of coding, you will celebrate the birth of command. You are the notary of the new world. You are the one who holds the verification key. Regarding the absolute sovereignty of the architect, I will still tell you about how to position yourself in the new Vanguard economy, ensuring that your agency is the most expensive asset in the room. Tell me, are you still trying to be the best calculator in the office? Or are you ready to become the one who decides what needs to be calculated? We have reached the final analysis. Stay with me at this moment. Look at that horizon of total clarity once more. It is no longer obscured by the fog of brackets and semicolons, but illuminated by the pure brightness of your own directed purpose. This is your technical manumission. Today I learned that the greatest victory is not mastering the tool, but mastering the transition itself. Do not waste your life competing with a calculator that never tires. Instead, assume the role of the architect who defines the soul of the system while the machine takes care of the work. Your humanity is not a bug in the code. It is the only reason the code exists. As you know, the fundamental mission of this channel is to shield your mind against the shock of the future, preparing you for the inevitable reality where architecture replaces coding. If you found clarity in this map, you have a duty to forward this alert to your tribe, to the developers and builders who are still sleeping in the trenches of syntax. Protecting our collective agency is the only way for us to thrive. If you like the content you just watched, it is worth subscribing and ringing the bell, because we will generate even more content just as good as this, designed to inform, provoke, and help you navigate the transformations to come. I am your chronological investigator, and I'll see you in the future. Bye.